Welcome back to DIY Dave and Company. I'm Dave, and today we're going to be working on my tomatoes. Yes, I have let my tomatoes get out of hand. We've had a lot of rain lately, and we've also been really busy, so I kept meaning to come out and do a little bit better staking. We staked them with bamboo sticks to start with, and I kind of knew that wasn't going to be good enough once they got growing, but I figured I'd come out and do a better staking job once they got a little bit bigger. And then of course we had 4 weeks of rain, and like I said, got out of hand. So let's take a look at what I'm dealing with here. I told you when we started this I was going to show you my mistakes and my successes. Well, this is one of my mistakes, so should be interesting. So as you can see, my tomatoes, I've got them laying on the ground, leaning over all over the place. It is just a total jungle here. When we get through straightening this out, I should be able to walk through these areas and take a good look at my tomatoes. Probably need to do some pruning as well. I've never done pruning, so don't know how that's going to work out. We'll find out. But this is what my tomatoes look like now. I've already started standing some of them up. I had a couple of ideas. I was thinking about putting some chicken wire up and attaching them to them, but of course, as you can see over here, it'd be nearly impossible to get chicken wire through here to do the staking with. So I've taken some grass rope, which is pretty much biodegradable. I mean, it's not going to last forever. It burns really great in the fire in the fall after you're through. But I've run I've got 7-foot fence posts at the ends of each row, and then I've done 3 strings through here, and then attached the strings to the stakes that we already had. And as you can see, this row looks pretty good. So with a little bit of pruning, we should be good to go. But my tomatoes grew so much during that time period that they're already at the top of the 7-foot pole, so definitely gonna have to do some pruning. But let's get started on these last 3 rows and get them cleaned up. Really, all you need for what I'm doing today, you can buy this fairly cheaply in huge bundles, so this is actually a really good method. In fact, I bought this probably 2 or 3 years ago. I've never done this many tomatoes, but I've used this every year on my tomatoes, and it's worked out pretty great. So you can get this pretty cheap. So you need this and something to cut it with. That's pretty much all there is to this. What I'm going to do, you can set this on the ground and it just kind of feeds out. I'm going to take this, probably do about 3, maybe 4 rows, tie it off above one of these little tabs right here. That'll help keep it from sliding down. I'm just going to tie it off and circle it around several times, and then go from one end to the next, wrap it around, and come back and tie it off again. So let's get to it. All right. So it doesn't have to be anything fancy here. Just want to make sure you're right above that little knob. Just do a couple of quick crossover knots. I don't know what these are called. I'm not a knot expert. I just know how to tie little crossovers. Do that several times. And the reason I'm wrapping it around like that several times is that way all of the weight's not just in one spot. It's going to stay on there pretty good. Now the real trick is going to be weaving my way through here without damaging my plants. So wish me luck. Wish me a lot of luck. This almost might be a two-man job, I don't know, but we're going to try something here. I think we can toss this over. Hey, we made it without damaging too much. And then we'll go around to the other end. All right. I'll try to snug this up pretty good. And then circle around here 2 or 3 times. And then I'm going to toss it back towards you guys. I'm hanging on to it to kind of keep it snug because I don't want it to start coming loose through there. There we go. And then I'm going to bring it back to this side. Let's see about getting this going. There we go. Then I'm going to wrap it a few times. And get our handy dandy box cutter. Want to be careful here. Don't let go. Make sure you've got hold of both strings, but always cut it away from you, because these suckers will cut your finger and send you to the hospital. And then you're not getting your tomatoes tied up. So we don't want to do that. So, all right. And then at this point, I just kind of tie it off again. A couple of little crossover knots should do the trick. Snug it up pretty good. I think we're in fairly good shape. All right, so I'm going to do that 2 more times on this pole, and then we'll come back and I'll show you how I'm attaching the tomato vines to the string. All right, so as you can see, we've got 3 double loops of string. Sometimes when you tighten it up a little bit, it pulls this pole in, so it got a little looser down here, but that'll still help stabilize the tomatoes. Now, the way that I'm going to attach these, found this awesome tool. I honestly can't remember what it's called. Isn't that awesome? Anyway, I found this awesome tool that my daughter ended up getting me for my birthday to help do the tomatoes. In the past, I've always just tied them off with the string like this, but this is awesome. What it does is it has a ribbon in here. You click it down once to grab the ribbon. See how it pulled that out? And then you run your plant and whatever you're attaching it into here, click it down one more time and it'll staple it. So let me show you. It's pretty simple. I'm going to start with kind of standing this one back up, pulling the stake in. So I'm actually attaching the stake because I've already got the tomatoes attached to the stake. Ta-da! Holds it just like that. pretty awesome. So I'm gonna go through and see if I can't clean some of this mess up and get these standing up better. Like here, I've already got one that's kind of laying down. Gently stand it back up. Tomatoes are pretty tough. You don't want to break them, but you can bend them usually, and they'll survive it. So once again, click it, grabs the ribbon, wrap it around, and staple, just like that. Pretty simple. Can't get any easier, let me tell you. Oh, one other thing I didn't mention, this rope will eat your hands up. Highly recommend some good leather gloves. You can get them fairly cheap. There's some you can get for just a few bucks. These I think I spent about $20 on, and they are the best pair of gloves I've ever had. They've been through a lot. Probably about time to get some new ones. They're starting to wear, but I've had these for probably 2 years, and I use them a lot. So, it says Wells Lamont. Anyway, that's not important. Let's get these tomatoes done. Well, that's about it. As you can see, now I've got everything tied up. There's several hours worth of work. I don't ever want to let them get out of hand like that again. I guess next time if it's raining, I just need to come out and work in my garden and get things tied up. And you can see some of the plants look a little wilty. I think that's primarily because some of the limbs were laying down on the ground and then growing up. Well, now some of those are hanging upside down. In a couple of days, I'm quite certain they will start looking much better. Once they adjust to their new environment. But as you can see, I can now go down my rows, and it's much easier to see the fruits. See, I've even got a couple ripe ones here, or close to ripe, that I couldn't see before. So, won't be long before I will be picking more tomatoes than I know what to do with. But that's my wife's job to figure out. I think right now she is actually reading a book on what to do when you have too many squash and tomatoes. I believe there will be upcoming videos about that very thing. As you can see, all of these little tapes holding everything up, that made the job go so much faster. In the past, I've just tied them up one string at a time. It wasn't easy. And now I need to go through and prune and do a little bit of maintenance on my tomato plants. But I believe that'll be another video on another day. I appreciate y'all watching. I hope this was helpful to some, and I hope those that are a little more experienced than me got a good laugh. If this is your first time of watching one of our videos, we'd really appreciate it if you would click that subscribe button. I believe it's right over there. Just click that button, and that way you won't miss out on any of our videos, whether they're entertaining, educational, or just sad. Hopefully less sad. Y'all have a great day, and we'll see you next time right here on DIY Dave. See ya.